Good afternoon, Nijmegen, and good afternoon, online audience. This is a hybrid event, so we will have a live stream so that our online audience of above 80 people can also enjoy today's event. On behalf of the Rockstart Health team, I wish you a warm welcome. On behalf of Xenia and Paul and myself, a special welcome to the stars of this afternoon, our startups. We kindly ask you to respect the COVID-19 rules because we want you to travel home healthy tonight. And we also want you to stay healthy after today. First, talk you through the agenda. After Mr. Herco Komans from the Dutch Ministry of Healthcare will address you. He will talk about the importance of innovation and startups in an international context. Then we will have our first startups pitching. Unfortunately, not all our startups could make it today to travel to the Netherlands due to COVID-19. So our Turkish startups, Pira Labs and Restful Gadgets, our Israeli startup, Medetective, and finally our Maltese startup, Braintrip, will pitch online. You will have, during the people that are online, will have the opportunity to chat during the event with each other. And afterwards, there is a possibility to talk to also online to the various startups, not only to the online startups, but also to the startups here in Nijmegen, in the former soup factory from Honig. We also have a special guest today, a startup, Inuka Consultancy. They are the winner of the FinTech Solutions Challenge, powered by FMO and organized by Rockstart. After the break, Mr. Maarten van Rikstel, CEO of Rockstart Health partner Sensier and Naast, will talk about the importance of innovation in care. And after him, we will have the final pitches of our startups. At the end, we invite everybody for drinks, the people here for live drinks, the other people have to serve themselves with virtual drinks. We started this journey almost a year ago, and till the end of February, everything went as planned. Then, together with Health Valley, we were preparing the Health Valley event, in which the first Rockstart Demo Day would have been incorporated, but in a very late stage, we had to cancel the event due to COVID-19. From that moment on, the startups, our mentors, our ecosystem partners, our workshops hosts, and also the Rockstart team worked very hard to transform the program into an online program. And I think we did really good. For me, a highlight was the online investor event we organized on June 25th, where we had over 90 subscriptions, and that's a Rockstart Health record and a Rockstart overall record. COVID-19 impacted our program. But in this slide from Boston Consulting Group, you can see that there is a future for health startups. We are happy for that, but unfortunately for our startups from this cohort, it's too early to announce news. But within a few months, at least a few, will come up with very interesting announcements. Make more words. This program, and of course also this event, would not have been possible without the support of many partners. First of all, we got a grant from the province of Gelderland and the city of Nijmegen. And we are very grateful that we got this grant. On the other hand, we had a lot of support. We got a lot of support from our ecosystem partners. I mentioned a few, but not all. Science Meets Business, Ben from Nijmegen, Brisker, OostNL, Health Valley, of course, Radboud University, many, many others. Thanks to them. Also, big support we got from our program partners, Boehringer Ingelheim and Sensier. Sensier is here. I haven't seen Boehringer Ingelheim yet, but welcome, Maarten. Finally, our program investors, I just mentioned two, but there are some more. Thanks, and also welcome to you. Without the mentors, the experts, and the workshop hosts, it would be very difficult to organize a program as we have. So thank you to all those people that supported us. These are the heroes of today. They're going to pitch for you. But first of all, I want to welcome on stage Mr. Herco Komans of the Dutch Ministry of Healthcare and invite him to talk to you. Thanks, Herco.
Thank you.
I wish you an inspiring afternoon, and please stay afterwards. We organize a barbecue. Everybody is welcome, and talk to our startups. Thank you.
Thank you, Tonko, and thank you all for having me here. So my name is Herco Komans. I work at the Dutch Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sports, where I am the International Digital Health Coordinator, which doesn't tell you anything about what I do, but I hope to explain some things of what we at the Ministry think is important for the health innovation ecosystem. First of all, congratulations already to the startups online and here for coming this far. It's been challenging times lately, so a congratulations is in order, I think. Because 2020 is turning out to be a very special year, to use an understatement. 2020 is the year of, I think we could call it the year of the community, where everyone came together and offered their services and their help and support for people who needed it, for organizations that needed it, and they even came to us as a government, which is, I think, very special, and offered their support, even if we didn't ask for it, but they felt that we needed it. And for example, there were more than 100 cybersecurity companies in the Netherlands that offered to build sort of like a protection layer around the vulnerable health IT infrastructures, so they could do their work safely and securely, which otherwise we would have done or needed to have done in the next couple of years. So I think community is a very important value that we've learned in this year to take to heart. Another thing is, I think that 2020 has shown is that this is the year that we need to deliver on our promises. And so we can do pilots and we can do experiments, but 2020 showed we need to show what we're worth and to deliver the actual value and get to the outcomes that matter. So it did cut out a lot of the talk and a lot of the meetings and commissions and pilots that we really didn't need. And we could focus on the things that we did need. And that's not exclusive, of course. There's a lot of things that fell through that we did need and that we didn't get back. But that's the way things go in a crisis like this. One of the things that we find is that the healthcare providers were able to switch in relatively quick fashion to a digital-first approach. And I don't want to toot our own horn or give ourselves a pat on the back, but I do think that the government has some credit here. For the past 4 to 5 years, we've been investing in what we call our flourishing ecosystem. And if you've heard Eric Gerritsen talk, you probably know some of this story already. So an ecosystem needs two things. And the first thing it needs is a positive climate. which means that we need to enable everyone to do what they do best within the ecosystem. And this means that we try to deregulate healthcare or digital health procurement and reimbursement rules. Make digital health easier to be reimbursed like regular healthcare. We have seed investment funds that will help investors like yourselves reduce the risk, so the government takes part of that risk, of that investment on its merits. It is also investing in e-skills, because even if you have the solutions out there, you need to have the people that are able to use them. So we have the Health Innovation School with, again, the Radboud as well, but it's now regional in many places. Now there's one running in the Hague area. And this is bringing innovation skills and innovation ambassadors into healthcare, so they get the right mindset. So when a startup comes or when an innovative product comes, they actually know what to do with it and how to deal with it. So that's the ecosystem, the positive climate part. It also needs a fertile soil, like we call it, which is the infrastructure, which is the boring technical part, which is that we know that data going from A to any B is safe and secure, and it's not changed or altered along the way. So we have cybersecurity standards and a Z-cert organization that helps hospitals manage their cybersecurity. We have the National Health Information Council, of which Maarten van Rikstel is one of the members, which is sort of like a national governance board. And we have, we're focusing on unity of language and unity of technology. And these are very important things that connects us to the rest of the world as well. So it's not just about being able to connect any healthcare provider to any patient anywhere in the Netherlands. It's also about being able to communicate with a French hospital or an American specialist or a patient from Romania. And one of the things that we found that this is very illustrative of this is the COVID Melder app. I'm sure you all followed the appathon and its resounding success. I hope it will be put up for the Brilliant Failures Awards later this year, because I do actually believe it is a brilliant failure. In just 1 week time, we learned so much about the state of the art in the industry, about what we wanted, about how we translate things like trust and privacy into requirements for an app, about how the politicians and society and the critics thought of what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And in just 1 week time, we got so much data, so much information together. So that was really a very interesting thing. But now we're at the stage that we have an app out in the wild. You can download it, and as soon as the law passes the Senate and the King signs it, we can actually roll it out nationally. So we're waiting for that. But we also want you to be sure that if you're sitting next to a German tourist on the train and he turns out to be positive, then you get a notification. And we want the same to be with a Romanian or, well, anyone in Europe. So we need to have the standards. We need to have the agreements international so we can do this. And this is just a very small example in a very limited use case. But if we want to scale, and that's the main point here, if we want to scale, we need to be able to build on those kinds of standards and agreements and processes where we come to European unity of language and unity of technology. That's my main job. So I get to sit behind my computer's desk, computer screen, and Zoom and WebEx and all those programs. Teams, I think I do them all. Where previously I used to go to Brussels and to Washington and to. The thing is now, I don't know how that is with you. I really miss the physical contact, so I'm really happy to be here physically. But I get to speak to my international contacts now on at least a weekly basis, where that used to be bi-monthly, maybe once half a year. So now some of those relationships are actually going deeper, but building on, of course, the relationship that we already built with our regular face-to-face contacts. But I do think that one of the things that we learn now is that there are opportunities out there that we didn't take for granted before because we didn't think that would work, that are now very much available to us. Our approach is very much a very general approach. So an ecosystem means we have to get everyone on board, which is of course a typical Dutch polder way of doing things, which means that it's probably slow, but it also means that we get to involve people that surprise us in how we do things. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but I have a pink pin with a mustache here, and I'm wearing pink socks. Does anyone know what these pink socks are? Total silence, while I know there's some people out here that actually do know. So, okay, I will explain. So the pink socks is a movement started by an American, but we don't hold that against him. And he's using these weird socks. They come up to my knees, so and it's very warm already. But he uses them as a conversation starter, basically. But now he's built this community, and again, community is very important value to take away from this crisis. And he's building a community of people who are involved in health innovation, into making us more human through technology. And he challenges everyone to use this conversation starter to share their own stories about why are you in this? Why are you doing what you're doing? And the interesting thing is that through collecting all these stories, everyone gets to enrich their own experience and their own story. So my challenge to you is to keep doing that, to keep an open mind to the surprising stories with the people you don't expect to meet, but maybe they're wearing these weird socks or have one of these weird pins. But they will help you connect to those core values of why are you in this more. And we as a government, we're far away from those motives for you to do what you're doing, but we still want to achieve the same thing. We just do it in a different way. So please come to me or connect to me in any way that you can find. My name's on the screen. I'm also a HIMSS Future 50 recognized government leader of, well, there's 50 people in the world that get this sort of like sticker or whatever you call it. And I'm in the government leadership category, which my bosses found very funny because they thought that they were the leaders. So that's probably why there's a HIMSS logo there. But contact me, find me, and see if we can get some new kinds of connections going. Again, thank you, and good luck to all the startups for their pitches. We need you, because we need to have your innovations within our ecosystem to be able to manage the next challenges that we will see in after this crisis, but also in this crisis. So, thank you, and if there's any questions, please let me know.
We have, yeah. I think we have room for one question. So when there's someone that wants to ask Herco a question? No? Then Herco, many thanks. I have got those socks, but for me it was too warm, so I'm wearing my pink string today, especially for you.
I don't want to know. TMI, TMI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now it's time to let our startups shine. We're opening the show today with our youngest, yet one of the most passionate teams you will ever meet. From Germany, please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for FIMO.
So nice to be here in these times. Like for me, it's the first physical event since half a year. And like 3 months ago, I was tested positive to COVID. And for me, it was like I was so exhausted, like for the next 3 or 4 days. Like after going for a walk, I don't know, I was not able to think anymore. People who suffer from chronic diseases have these very often every day, which brings me to my pitch. Oh. My name is Alex. I'm co-founder and CEO of FIMO Health. I would like to tell you the story of Emma. Emma suffers from the chronic disease of multiple sclerosis. As for 90% of the patients who suffer from MS, her worst symptom is fatigue. This is what I described before, like this exhaustion. Because fatigue is a clinically relevant, massive form of exhaustion, where small activities, like playing, like when Emma is playing with her kids, when she's taking a shower, or when she's going for a walk, she's so exhausted that she needs to recover for hours or sometimes even days. This fatigue is influenced by different vital and environment parameters, such as physical activity, sleep, stress, temperature, light, or noise. This leads to 3 major problems. Emma doesn't know what causes her fatigue and how she can counteract it. Emma's doctor has no objective information regarding the symptoms and the fatigue itself, and pharmaceutical companies have no long-term information and data regarding the impact of their medication on fatigue. We have a solution that can help all of them, actually. By the help of smartphone and smartwatch sensors and our own coded app, we are collecting more than 15 different parameters that correlate with Emma's fatigue. Within our app, we have integrated a state-of-the-art UI/UX and gamification concept, which motivates Emma to fill out the tests and questionnaires, as well as we have integrated a doctor's view so that Emma's doctor and other physicians can work with the data. And actually, the data has a value for all of the ones integrated. Emma, for the first time, has the possibility to understand her fatigue, what is affecting the fatigue, and how she can counteract it. Emma's doctor is also, Emma's doctor is also happy because she receives objective information which improve her anamnesis process, and she can design better medication and therapy plans. The pharmaceutical companies benefit by the data, meaning for the long-term information that we are collecting regarding the impact of drugs on the different symptoms. In our current clinical trial, we can see that patients love using our app. In addition to that, we can show that we have correlations between the parameters that we are measuring and the fatigue of the patients. Further, we are conducting a pilot with the biggest MS clinic in Europe, where over 100 patients and more than 15 different doctors and nurses are working with our solution. Regarding the business model, we are following 2 different ways. On the one side, we will become a medical device of class 1 by next month. And then there's a new law in Germany, the Digitale Vorsorgegesetz, which enables doctors to prescribe digital health applications, and then health insurance providers are covering the costs. We estimate that we can be reimbursed within the system in Q1 of 2021. In addition to that, we also want to work together with pharmaceutical companies as we create different values for them, such, for example, that we can help with the follow-up monitoring of clinical trials, as well, of course, as the data and insights, or that we can reduce the dropout rate of clinical trials. First talks with companies such as Merck or Roche show that there's a huge interest in such a solution. Unfortunately, not only MS leads to fatigue, also other chronic diseases can lead to it. For example, cancer. 90% of the patients who suffer from cancer and receive a medication or radiation therapy develop fatigue, every second on a chronic basis. And 3 out of 4 then need to change their employment status just as a result of fatigue. And also other chronic diseases such as Parkinson, lupus, or even, as I mentioned before, the new COVID-19 can lead to fatigue. We want to help all of them. We have created a scientific advisory board with experts within the areas of neurology, oncology, as well as digital health, data science, and health economics. We're working together with different university clinics and hospitals, and therefore have a great access to patients. Last but not least, we have different technology partners like Garmin or Samsung who provide us with free devices for our clinical trials, as well as access to the API and raw data. Our small team combines all the relevant necessary skills. We have backgrounds in IT and tech development, as well as data science, health analytics, or business development and strategy. The vision of our team is to help the million people out there tackling their fatigue so that they can play with their kids again, that they can take a shower, or that they can go for a walk without feeling the fatigue. If you are interested in our approach or want to help us, please come later on to our booth or join the online session, and we are happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
This startup knows how to listen to your heart's desires. Please welcome on stage, Cardiomo.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I'm Ksenia from Cardiomo. The recent outbreak of COVID-19 has shown that the patient ecosystem will never be the same, and the healthcare system has to be changed. Healthcare professionals and payers has realized that the need and value of remote patient monitoring. Patients with heart disease are needed constant, accurate monitoring. They have to visit hospitals for cardiogram recording, Holter monitoring, and treatment prescription. During a pandemic, we became afraid of getting infected in clinic visits, and providers began to lose money and their patients. We have developed a revolutionary solution that equally solves the problem of both clinicians and patients. Cardiomo presents best-in-class and world's most advanced solution for cardiac telehealth monitoring. Cardiomo is a wearable small patch for tracking cardiac rhythm and all vitals and recording cardiogram. We utilize AI-based analytic platform for analysis everywhere in real time and with no medical staff manipulation. The device is easy to apply and operate. Healthcare providers purchase the hardware and license for software from us. Cost of hardware and software is cheaper than reimbursement for free patients. Clinician could prescribe the Cardiomo patch for continuous ongoing monitoring up to 1 year. Without hospital admissions or even office visits, providers can oversee dozens of patients at the same time and provide targeted individual care. We are a team of 12 people, strong and experienced developers, data scientists, financial and business experts, and medical advisors. We are hiring now Chief Commercial Officer to build up our sales. From company foundation, we have developed hardware ready for mass production. We created unique software, conducted clinical trials, and clinically validated the compliance with gold standard of ECG. We have made first sales and partnered with Radboud University and secured hospital pilot. We have 2 offices in the US and the Netherlands. Next year, we are going to produce and sell 5,000 devices. We are very close to CE mark Class 2A medical device. We implement quality management system and have technical file ready. We are waiting for audit by notified body with October and conformity by the end of the year. Currently, we are raising 2.4 million. First step, 300K. 100K is already committed. With use of fund for growing the team to build up our marketing and sales and big batch inventory production. Second step, 2.1 million for scaling and passing break-even point. Thank you, and join us on our mission of saving lives.
And now get ready to watch another episode of Sherlock series. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome MedDetective.
Colorectal cancer is one of the most common of cancers, with about 450,000 people newly diagnosed each year in Europe alone. According to research from GlobalScan, released by the International Agency for Cancer Research in 2018, 10% of all new cancer cases were related to colorectal cancer. Nearly 10% of all deaths were also attributed to colorectal cancer, and both were second only to lung cancer. So it is time to do something about colorectal cancer prevention. Enough is known about this disease to be confident that cases can be prevented if effective prevention and early detection strategies are implemented. It is possible to achieve a vision of a world practically free from colorectal cancer deaths with better understanding, improved awareness, new and novel technologies, and appropriate investments. Many governments struggle with implementation of early prevention and screening programs. In the end, these programs lead to the fact that if a test is returned positive, a patient needs to undergo a colonoscopy. And though this exam is the gold standard for prevention, it too is not a fail-safe procedure. The reason for this is called a polyp. And polyps are the early signs of cancer, and if discovered, they need to be removed. However, a fair amount of them, in fact 17 to 28% of them, go undetected under examination. And this is where MedDetective comes in. We combine image analysis, deep learning, and artificial intelligence to seek out and detect polyps. AI in the field of endoscopy allows computers to see and interpret visual content. Through processes of machine learning and more recently deep learning, AI systems can be trained to recognize normal characteristics by linking a gold standard to suitable images. Our flagship product, called Sherlock, provides physicians with a decision support system that helps reduce the polyp misdetection rate. Sherlock underwent a successful clinical trial in Israel last year and is now ready to take its next step. After being bootstrapped for over 2 years and focused primarily on R&D and clinical validation, we recently incorporated in Holland and are now looking to move from prototype phase to a fully regulated product and launch our initial go-to-market strategy in Western Europe. We are also in our first steps of commercializations, with discussions ongoing with a major multinational company about integration between their cloud offering and Sherlock. Sherlock has shown incredible results in detecting polyps, increasing polyp detection by nearly 20% during our clinical trial. We keep our algorithm current by continuously feeding it with new data, and to date we have processed hundreds of thousands of different polyp scenarios, resulting in our ability to detect polyps in over 98% of the time. We know that no other company in this space can gain access to such a large database of polyps, which keeps us ahead of our competition. With your help, we are looking to raise $1.8 million in a seed investment round that will allow us, during the next 18 months, to migrate the product from prototype to medical device, file for CE and FDA licenses, complete patent protection, and launch our go-to-market strategy. This will also lead us towards an A financing round. Our intention is to start generating revenue by the end of 2021. And we base this assumption on the fact that we will be selling Sherlock through distribution channels to a target market made up of hospitals and clinics, and by selling our algorithm to second-tier endoscopic device manufacturers through long-term license agreements. In closing, once a patient has been treated for colorectal cancer, there is always a risk that their disease will return, even after apparently curative surgery. Sherlock goes a long way to ensure that a patient does not fall on the path of cancer treatment. The high costs associated with cancer to both the patient and the healthcare industry are obvious, so the benefits of detection by routine surveillance is insurmountable. Change must happen, and Sherlock improves healthcare and provides for better patient outcomes. What is needed is to make a positive, long-term commitment to effectively manage colorectal cancer and limit its impact to a minimum. With your help, Meditective is poised to bring about this change. So we thank you for your time, and we look forward to sharing our vision with you.
Next is a startup that will make you sleep like a baby. Please give a round of applause to Respa Gadgets.
Hello everyone. Did you know that 1 billion people worldwide have trouble breathing during sleep? This common health problem is called sleep apnea. It is caused by airway obstruction due to collapsing tongue or jaw. The short-term consequences are loud snoring, low sleep quality, and daytime sleepiness. On the other hand, long-term consequences, since we spend 1/3 of our life sleeping, sleep apnea causes people to develop more serious health problems as hypertension, cancer, and diabetes. Although there are many working solutions in the market, they share one common problem. It is very discomfortable to use. And half of the people stop using their complicated treatment options in the first year. After seeing this issue, we decided to develop the comfortable and practical solutions that people can actually use. Dormio combines the working principles of the current solution into one product. It's minimizing the side effects while being comfortable and efficient. We already proved that Dormio 2 times more preferred compared to the competitors. We have conducted 2-stage clinical trials. In the MRI study, the airway volume increases have been observed, and then we moved to sleep study and proved that Dormio reduces number of apneas and snoring for mild and moderate sleep apnea patients. The company has all necessary certifications for medical production, and our US patent has been granted recently. My name is Sefa. I am the founder of Respa Gadgets, and our team consists of 2 biomedical engineers doing PhD on the subject. We have a field experience of more than 10 years, and we have valuable medical doctor advisors contributing to the team. We are selling our solutions online via our website and in retails via pharmacies. So far, more than 3,000 units sold in 11 countries and generated 120,000 euros of revenue. Our target markets are Europe and USA. The sleep apnea market in total worth 6 billion euros, and the oral appliance markets in which we are in generates 2 billion euros annually. We are aiming to take 5% of the market in the next 5 years. Our company founded in 2017 with the prizes and grants. We started beta sales in 2018, and with 2,000 unit sales, we reached to the product market fit point. And now we are looking for seed investment for scaling up our business. In the next 18 months, we will get FDA clearance and planning to look for a Series A round. Recently, we are working on turning our current solution into an IoT data collecting device, which will be a game changer for the sector. We are a startup with the mission of providing smart and practical solutions for sleep-related problems. Now, it's time for us to scale our business. We know so because our unit economics are positive, and most importantly, our users love the product. We have a return rate below 2%, while the industry standard is 20%. In order to achieve our goals, we are looking for 500,000 euros of seed investment, and the milestones will be expanding sales to the Netherlands and to the Germany. Also, we would like to initiate our FDA submission to enter the US market. If you believe our vision of providing better sleep, we welcome you to be part of our investor team and be part of our advisory board. Please email me today to learn more. Thank you for listening and take care.
Ending the first act of today's speeches with a startup you might fall in love with. Please welcome to the stage Pact Care.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is André Fialho, co-founder CEO at Pact Care. It's great to be here, finally in person, to share with you the exciting work that we're doing in helping patients to access care in a fully digital and modern way. Let me explain what we mean by that and why is it so important. The Dutch healthcare system is by no doubt one of the most well-organized systems in the world. Nonetheless, patients still go through a complex journey through multiple steps, multiple stakeholders to access this care. And often this leads to delays. Let's give the example of referral, so how a GP refers a patient to a provider. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of this patient and think how you would feel if you'd be in pain, if you'd be at home without being able to work, and you have to wait 8 weeks for the appointment that your GP referred you to. How would you feel if you'd know that in a neighborhood hospital or clinic, for the same type of care, same quality, you could have been helped much earlier, in only 1 week? How would you feel of having this unnecessary waiting and pain, not allowing you to work? This is not so infrequent. Actually, in 2019, for more than 2 million appointments, patients had to wait longer than, well, they should have, because an earlier alternative was in most cases available. And with the ongoing events related to Corona, this problem is getting worse. And to try to help these patients, insurance companies have set up call center departments with expensive qualified nurses trying to help these patients doing what is called a waiting list mediation service. So basically, when they receive a call from a patient asking for help, they then call different hospitals and clinics trying to find an earlier appointment for these patients. But this process is slow, labor-intensive. It takes more than 30 minutes to help these patients finding an earlier appointment. It doesn't have to be this way. So our solution, we call it Vinduzorg, is a web-based platform that can be used by either the insurance mediation coaches or by the patients themselves directly, and can help them to search and compare from hundreds of different providers with regards to their waiting times, and select one and request an appointment. All digital, no back and forth calling, in a process that is much faster. We've launched the first version of the platform in July this year. And this first version is being used by patients only at this stage. And we're very happy to see already the results of not only the number of mediations, successful mediations already taking place on the platform, but also the number of providers, clinics and hospitals reaching out to us to have their presence there on the platform. So these early signs make us confident that, first and foremost, we are indeed helping patients to find care with lower waiting times. Second, we are helping providers, especially those that have extra capacity, to increase the utilization of their departments and clinics. And for insurance mediation coaches, we are helping to cut down the costs and the time it takes them to help to mediate a patient. And it's exactly on these time savings that our revenue model is based on. We are targeting the largest insurance companies in the Netherlands to start, and we're helping them to mediate these calls between patients and providers and charging a fee per each successful mediation. And we already had some conversations to start potentially a pilot by the end of this year. So to summarize today, our goal is to help mediating patients towards lower waiting time providers. But this is just a start. Our bigger vision is to help patients to access care much faster, more convenient way. So we are working on the set of tools to give to insurance companies that they can then apply and deploy to their members and patients to help them book appointments online, manage their appointments online, but also to connect with providers virtually, for example, via video consultation. To help tapping into these larger pockets of revenue, we will need help. And that's why we're planning by the beginning of next year to close a seed round that will help us to build a strong foothold on the waiting list mediation space and to start expanding into the booking and virtual care space. Behind this team, we have a multidisciplinary and hardworking, ambitious team of physicians, data analysts, and software engineers. For example, Chow, that works here in the Netherlands as a physician, and that sees in firsthand the problem of delayed care, what the consequences of this delayed care. And myself, with a background in data analysis, and Sebastian, with extensive experience in scaling the software platforms. So, if you share this vision with us that healthcare needs to be modernized, the access of patients towards providers needs to be fully digital. If you share the same vision that no patient should be at home waiting unnecessarily in pain, join us. We would like to have you on board as an investor or with your expertise and mentorship. So please feel free to contact us. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. When you talk about the care organizations in the Netherlands and in relation to innovation, there is always one name that pops up. And that's the name of Maarten van Rikstel. Maarten is the CEO of, or board member, I must say, of Sensier, one of the biggest and most innovative care providers in the Netherlands, based in the eastern parts. I'll leave it to this very short introduction because I think that Maarten will introduce himself to you. Welcome on stage, Maarten. And
thank you. The clicker. Yes, thank you. First of all, I want to apologize to the English-speaking audience. I do my introduction in Dutch because I find it too difficult to express our movement in an English way, so I will be handicapped to do so. Sensier is een organisatie in het oosten van het land. Een care-organisatie, maar ik zeg liever een oudere organisatie, maar ook chronisch zieken. We hebben kinderen in behandeling. We hebben zo'n beetje 1300 bewoners in de verpleeghuizen, 13.000 klanten in de wijkverpleging en 4000 klanten nog in de consultatiebureau. Wij hebben in 2014 een heel fundamentele stap gezet. En dat is de stap dat wij hebben gezegd, het businessmodel waarin de zorg, en wij dan specifiek Sensier, werkt, heeft geen toekomst, is dood. Dat betekent dat wij hebben besloten om niet meer grote investeringen te doen in het verbeteren van de verpleeghuiszorg en de wijkverpleging vandaag, maar te zoeken naar de mogelijkheden die er zijn om de zorgcontinuïteit naar de toekomst waar te maken. Ons gevoel is dat we dat in de zorg te weinig doen. Een fundamentele strategische keuze maken om te zeggen wat we hebben, moeten we niet meer blijven betalen. En zoek dan een andere oplossing. Dus wij waren groot tegenstander van de 2 miljard in de verpleeghuiszorg. Want nu blijkt ook bij corona, als je er heel weinig mee doet met onze bewoners, dan worden ze rustiger, hebben ze een fijner leven en gaan ze prettiger dood. In plaats van heel veel activeren en dergelijke. Toen hebben wij dus in 2014 gezegd, oké, als dit niet werkt, het businessmodel, een P+Q-financiering, met een arbeidsmarkt die krimpt en een demografie die negatief uitwerkt, dan moeten we naar andere paradigma's om onze organisatie op te baseren. Die hebben we gevonden in 3 thema's. 1, in het thema professionele autonomie. De zorgorganisatie in Nederland is altijd gebaseerd op een bepaalde vorm van hiërarchie en bestuurlijke verantwoordelijkheid. Wij gaan dat helemaal ombouwen. En Sensier gaat van een zorgverlener de beste ondersteuner van professionals worden. Dus Sensier als organisatie is straks geen zorgverlener meer. Dat doen professionals met hun eigen besluitvorming, met hun eigen richtlijnen, waarin het management niets meer te zeggen heeft over de zorgverlening. Op dit moment zijn wij de directies uit de zorg aan het halen. Nu is nog 1 manager op 1700 medewerkers en daar zit niks meer tussen. Dus die kan zich gelukkig niet meer met de zorg bemoeien. 2, digitaal, dat lijkt me vrij logisch. En de derde stap is van toegevoegde waarde. Onze financiering in het stelsel gaat altijd over activiteiten, het doen. Wij denken dat zorg gaat over denken. veel beter nadenken om zo min mogelijk te doen. Ja, dan moet je wel naar een andere vorm van financiering. Dan moet je naar contractinnovaties. Dan moet je op zoek gaan naar modellen waarin je probeert samen met verzekeraars en gemeenten te zoeken naar andere vormen van financiering. Het tweede wat hebben we gedaan is dat we een groeistrategie hebben geformuleerd die gebaseerd is op de strategie en niet op volume. Dus we hebben gezegd, als er kansen voorbij komen, en toevallig zijn we per 1 september hebben wij een verpleeghuis in het Zutphense overgenomen. Als die kansen voorbij komen, doen we het. Maar wij gaan vooral investeren in groei, daar waar het gaat over diensten die ons naar de toekomst gaan helpen. Eigenlijk zie je 5 grote bewegingen die zien wij, maar die staan ook in de laatste ontwikkelingen van Deloitte en dergelijke. 1, we gaan van zorg naar gezondheid. 2, het gaat niet meer, digitale zorg wordt gewoon een zorg, dus digitaal wordt de norm. 3, en dat is denk ik wel een belang in deze, datagedreven gepersonificeerde interventies. Een van de grote problemen die ik bij alle start-ups heb, is dat ze allemaal een puntoplossing geven en dat geen enkele patiënt in Nederland 1 puntoplossing nodig heeft. Dus hoe zorgen we er nou voor dat we voor een patiënt een gepersonificeerde digitale oplossing vinden door het bij elkaar. Hoe brengen we nou die verschillende puntoplossingen bij elkaar? Dat is echt een belangrijke vraag, denk ik, die in Nederland slecht geadresseerd wordt. Wat ik al zei, professionele autonomie. Je zult zien, de uitstroom van medewerkers uit organisaties is niet omdat ze uit de zorg weg willen, maar ze willen uit die beroerde bureaucratie weg. Ze willen uit de sturing op volume in de sturing op inhoud. Dus wij zullen rekening mee moeten houden dat er een totaal andere arbeidsmarkt en niet een automatisch krappe arbeidsmarkt. Mijn stelling is ook, we hebben genoeg medewerkers, we doen alleen de verkeerde dingen. En het laatste is nieuwe verdienmodellen. Zoals ik zei, we moeten echt naar andere vormen van contractering. Dus contractinnovatie is een basis voor, naar ons idee, voor de innovaties die we hier vandaag bespreken. Dus ik zei, we hadden een groeistrategie en die is voor een deel door onszelf. De make or buy keuze hebben we. We hebben twee grote projecten lopen rondom ons medisch servicecentrum. Naast een centrum waar 65 verpleegkundigen op dit moment een kleine 100.000 contact hebben met een kleine 100.000 mensen in Nederland. Daar doen we eigenlijk 3 dingen. Veiligheid, dus personenalarmering, sensoring en dat soort zaken. Tweede is ondersteuning van professionals, verpleegkundige triage, medicatie, dubbelcheck en dat soort dingen allemaal op digitale wijze. En het derde is dat wij op dit moment voor 4 ziekenhuizen de COPD en hartfalenmonitoring geven. En dan komt er weer zo'n prachtig fenomeen. Wij onderzoeken wetenschappelijk wat we doen. Blijkt dat de maatschappelijke kosten van hartfalen met 90% dalen als je die gewoon goed monitort. En dan met een tevredenheid van 90%. En we doen het niet in Nederland. Want er zijn blijkbaar andere incentives als maatschappelijke kosten. Tweede is happy. Wij zijn op zoek naar manieren om op een eenvoudige wijze mensen te helpen en tegelijkertijd data te verzamelen die voor een organisatie als geheel belangrijk zijn. De zorg is heel goed in NS1. Maar als je als organisatie wil sturen naar de toekomst, wil je NS10.000. En hoe komen we nou in die 10.000 als je in de dossiers alleen maar kwalitatieve informatie ontdekt? Nou, we zijn op zoek naar hoe kunnen we nou op een digitale manier enerzijds die relatie tussen professional en klant vormgeven. En 2, hoe kunnen we daar dan data uit doen? Dat doen we samen met een gamebedrijf, Game Solutions Lab. Een leuke zoektocht. En 3 was het partner met Rockstart. Proberen te kijken wat speelt er nou in de wereld en welke dingen kunnen wij nou met start-ups doen, zodanig dat we leren wat de mogelijkheden van morgen zijn. Zijn dat de mogelijkheden van vandaag? Nee, helemaal niet. De huisarts is om de hoek, het ziekenhuis is om de hoek, alles. We doen het gewoon fysiek. Maar je moet leren als organisatie wat het betekent om digitaal zorg te verlenen. Dat is echt een fundamenteel belangrijk ding. Als je niet leert met start-ups hoe het morgen kan, worden de competenties van je huidige medewerkers niet beter. Dus je kunt wel blijven investeren in vandaag, maar als je morgen niet doet, heb je morgen weer mensen die het niet kunnen. Ik weet niet hoe ik die zin moet maken, maar in ieder geval, we zullen nu iets moeten doen om morgen het goed te kunnen. Dus vandaar ook dat wij met Rockstart zijn begonnen. We zijn bezig om te kijken of we een digitale academie kunnen maken. We zijn op allerlei manieren bezig om te kijken. Digitaal is niet iets van instrumenten, maar digitaal is een fundamentele omkering van het totale denken van de zorg. Digitaal zegt iets over totaal iets anders. En hoe moeten we daarin leren? Dus zoeken en proberen nieuwe dingen te ontdekken en heel veel vallen en anders opstaan. Wat kunnen we aan start-ups geven? Een van de problemen die start-ups hebben is, hoe kom ik nou gewoon feitelijk in het veld? Nou, wij hebben met naast een digitaal platform. Daar kunnen we wel gepersonificeerde zorg maken, want die kunnen we die puntoplossingen bij elkaar brengen. 2, we hebben als vizieren professionals en klanten. Dus we kunnen die start-up helpen om die twee bij elkaar te brengen. En we helpen ze om in de werkelijkheid te testen of hun idee, of hun applicatie, of hun middel ook feitelijk werkt. Ik denk dat dat een hele mooie combinatie kan zijn. Wij zijn er nu voor het eerst, gaan wij met 1 start-up werken. En ik hoop, en ik zag in de presentatie een tweede, die zei, oh, die komt ook bij Suzieren. Dat is mooi om te zien. Wisten we nog niet, maar dat is wel leuk. Voor ons is het een enorme ontdekkingstocht. Voor ons is het echt zoeken. Het is heel spannend, maar weet...
Thanks, Martin. I promise you, someone is known as Mr. Innovation within care, and I think you now understand why he is Mr. Innovation Care. Thanks very much, Martin. And your team is aware of the collaboration with Cardiomo and Radboud University. So
I don't know everything. Huh?
That's better. Thank you.
And we're switching back to English. Next startup is the winner of the Fincher Solutions Challenge powered by FMO. Please give a warm welcome to Inuka.
Hi everyone. Let me start with a question. Who of you knows somebody who has suffered from burnout, depression, or anxiety? Raise hands. Yes. Who of you has suffered from this yourself? This is a fairly accurate representation of what's actually going on. 6 years ago, I ended up with the depression myself, and I found out that I'm not alone. 1 in 4 people worldwide suffers from depression, burnout, or anxiety every single year. Yet the majority of them never seek support. This is mostly due to the large stigma around this issue, but also because of the high cost and sometimes lack of professionals. Yet the interesting thing is, this is about much more than just our happiness. Research in recent years has shown that our mental well-being is a prerequisite for many important aspects of our lives, including our physical health and productivity. Therefore, with Inuka, we're on a mission to make well-being accessible for everyone. We do this by training empathic humans on a scientifically proven coaching method, and then support them with technology and experts. With this coaching platform, we make effective human support scalable. What makes us special is the scientific method our coaches are trained on. You see here my co-founder, Professor Shibanda, on the stage, and he ended up on the stage with Prince William because he actually showed it is possible to train people without any clinical or coaching background within a very short amount of time to actually empower them to help other people with a range of issues, all the way from coping with chronic illness or work stress, or, for example, abusive husbands. Sounds maybe a little bit strange. If you don't trust me, the good news is he actually did a large clinical trial, a randomized control trial, published in JAMA, one of the best medical studies in the world, which shows that it's actually effective, this method, for reduction of depression and anxiety symptoms. And he scaled this up across Africa and North America. Proudly, Inuka is the first to use this elegant innovation to make actually human coaching scalable and cost-effective. On the client side, we offer digital coaching and progress tracking. On the coaching side, we offer screening, training, a digital coach toolbox, expert support, and quality monitoring. The first use case for this coaching platform for us is employee well-being, because there's a very clear business case. And so far, we've seen great results. We launched in November last year, and we saw until now, we've made 33K in revenues. We also, in the past 3 months, closed deals with 3 large companies, and so which means that within 1 year time, we go from 3K to 70K revenues. And next year, we aim to go to 300K. The thing I'm very proud of course, is also that our user feedback is very positive, which means that we offer high quality and are ready for scale. We trained 50 coaches, helped over 300 people, and got an average coach rating of a 4.7 out of 5. Our slogan is empathy meets science. And so, of course, we also did a scientific pilot. We saw that 82% of highly stressed users saw a significant improvement back to resilience within 4 chat sessions with our coaches. Our business model is simple and profitable. We ask a simple license fee per year to give a whole organization access to our platform, and then €395 per year for access to up to 8 coaching sessions. The exciting part, especially for this audience, I think, is that employee well-being is only the first use case in which we can use this coaching platform. For anywhere where you actually need sustainable behavior change, such as losing weight or changing your lifestyle, we can be of use because we have a very widely applicable coaching methodology. In fact, we're already in conversation with 4 large partners to make this happen. Because we offer this very cost-effective, scalable coaching methodology that is way more accessible, we think we can open up a new multi-billion-dollar market. The ask to get there is 350K investments, which will get us to break even and also make us ready for our next Series A round within 1.5 years' time. And I'm very proud to say that Inuka so far is the only one who makes human coaching scalable with solid scientific evidence. This is my team. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Inuka, and we've been working together for over 3 years, and we have the necessary clinical, technical, and startup experience to scale fast with quality. Last May, we already closed the first smaller rounds, including with one of the main investors in the space, Wendy van Ierschot. And I would like to close off with a quote of one of our investors, Arjan, who's also in the room here. Hi, Arjan. Who also joined us as our business developer last May. He actually was in a tough place early last year, and he used Inuka coaching. I really wish this was me 6 years ago before I ended up in my depression. Fortunately, I'm in a much better space now. I'm ready to give back and make well-being accessible for everyone with our coaching platform. You want to join us on our mission? You can find us later at the booth. Thank you very much. And also, actually, I'm going to improvise here, completely freewheeling it off script. But I realize that a lot of you are actually in healthcare companies, of course. So if any of you is struggling with patients who need sustainable behavior change, and you want to give people one-on-one individual support that is still cost-effective, find me also for that. So that's a great opportunity. And I also want to say we won the Fincher's Prize. And I see I have time enough, so I really want to say it, is that 10% of our equity is in the Inuka Foundation. So for every revenue that we make here, 10% of our profits go to scale up our work in Africa. So we're also active in Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Uganda, also with the prizes that we won there. So this is it. Thank you very much.
Wind, rain, flight delay, nothing can keep this startup away. Joining us from Slovenia, give a warm welcome to Braintrip.
%50 of the people listening to this pitch will be affected by dementia, either because they get the disease themselves or one of their close relatives does. My name is Yuri. I'm the co-founder and CTO of BrainTrip, and we have developed the first rapid and scalable screening test for dementia. This is Jane. She's been married for 30 years, but she doesn't recognize her husband anymore. Last winter, she almost froze to death because she got lost in her backyard garden. Lately, her family needs to watch her constantly so she doesn't overdose on her insulin. Jane is one of the 65 million people who suffer from Alzheimer's dementia. But Jane's life didn't have to get this bad this fast. Even though Alzheimer's is incurable, most of Jane's problems do have effective treatments, but these only work best if started early. Jane actually first started to feel her memory slipping 6 years ago. When she raised concerns about it, her husband and doctor told her she was simply getting older. But when, 2 years ago, she started forgetting her son's name, her doctor finally referred her to a neurologist who just recently diagnosed her with Alzheimer's disease. Had Jane been screened for dementia when she first raised concerns, she might still be her old self. And early dementia screening is exactly what BrainTrip offers. Let me emphasize this. At this stage, we aren't building a diagnostic device, but a screening solution, which we can bring to the market much quicker. Our product is a piece of software called the BrainTrip Cognitive Index, or BCI for short. The BCI takes in EEG data on the electrical activity of the brain and returns a value that represents the brain's mental abilities. The lower the number, the more likely it is that the person is suffering from dementia. At 84%, the BCI's accuracy is on par with gold standard diagnostic tests, and we have validated our product on more than 500 individuals in 2 scientific studies. So, how do we actually do it? Well, Jane decides to undergo dementia screening, and since BrainTrip doesn't offer B2C services, she has to contact a private clinic or any other business that offers our solution. During the BCI screening, which is based on a 5-minute EEG recording, Jane sits comfortably in a chair and rests. Jane's EEG recording is then uploaded to our servers, where our algorithm processes the data and returns the BCI. If the BCI is low, Jane is advised to visit her GP and obtain a diagnosis as soon as possible. If she is within the expected normal range, Jane is advised to repeat the measurement after 1 year. The entire procedure takes only 15 minutes. We have several unique selling points. We can predict how fast the disease will progress for each individual. No other test can do this. The BCI can also be repeated on the same person on a yearly basis to detect abnormalities as soon as they appear. Since EEGs are more affordable and mobile, our screening solution is highly scalable and can be used anywhere in the world. We're developing our solution to be easy to use so that a minimally trained person can do the measurement. Once we have sufficient data, we will add a machine learning layer, which will improve our accuracy, sensitivity, and specificity. Our data processing pipeline is also not limited to just dementia screening. Our long-term goal is to branch out and cover other neurological diseases such as depression. We're a B2B SaaS company targeting organizations that deal with seniors. In the beginning, we will rely on out-of-pocket payments and government subsidies to cover test expenses, but we're also working on a reimbursement code for our test. We already have some traction. One of our market partners is Sincere, a Dutch care network with access to more than 6,000 people in our target group. Holland Health Clinic is a private clinic in Amsterdam that wants to attract more seniors by offering our solution. And Saba Insurance Group is one of Slovenia's biggest health and life insurance companies, and they wish to offer the BCI measurement as a loyalty bonus to their senior customers. So, what will we actually sell? We will offer yearly B2B packages consisting of a leased EEG and 100 pre-purchased monthly measurements. Our target price per package is 5,000 euros per month, which means that each measurement costs 50 euros. Each additional measurement beyond the pre-purchased ones will cost the same, 1% of the total package cost. Each EEG device has a large testing capacity of 400 tests per month per device, assuming an 8-hour workday with breaks. So, How does testing 10,000 people, which is our current serviceable, obtainable market, translate to revenue? Well, let's be as conservative as possible and assume that each client will pay around 2,500 euros instead of the 5,000 euros per package per month target price. Each package comes with 100 pre-purchased measurements, and for each additional measurement, our client pays us 25 euros. Regardless how you slice it, one big client performing 10,000 measurements or 8 smaller clients, our annual revenue is the same at about 250,000 euros. This graph also assumes a 50% discount in pricing, and as you can see, even at these low prices, there is high profit potential, and we can reach the break-even point by 2022 with only 15 packages sold. This is our roadmap for the next year. We'll have a finished prototype in December and are planning 2 commercial pilots for early next year. We currently have 4 interested parties for the pilots. In April, we will finish our MVP, which we will begin commercializing by the 3rd quarter of next year. Braintrip was co-founded by David and myself. David is more business savvy and is thus the CEO, and I have more than 15 years of EEG processing experience and have developed the BCI. We currently lack someone with sales experience, and since we're nearing market entry, our next hire will be a chief sales officer. We obtained several grants, most noteworthy the one from Expo 2020 Dubai, which had more than 4,000 applicants. We've also signed 2 CLAs with the accelerators Rockstart and Fast Track Malmo. At the moment, David and I are still 50-50 shareholders. We are looking for an investor with experience and connections in healthcare. Braintrip also has an agreement with Malta Enterprise, a Maltese governmental investment agency, that any investment into Braintrip up to 200,000 euros will be doubled by Malta Enterprise in the form of a deferred loan. Thank you for your attention.
Up next on stage is a startup led by 3 powerful and inspiring women. Please welcome on stage Tectify.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hao. I grew up living in a hospital in China because my parents were care professionals. Their proximity to patient allows the proximity to patient helped my parents deliver timely care, and this is something Tectify we are interested in. We believe anything helps to reduce administration time of care professionals will help to improve patient care. We talked with care organizations in the past few months, and we learned that in the lesson by the year 2022, there will be a shortage of 125,000 care employees. On the other hand, given the shortage of caregivers, care organization administrative overhead is still high. Caregivers spend 1 hour daily in planning activities. Those planning activities are not refundable by insurance companies. So let's take care organizations with 200 care professionals as an example. In 1 year time, 1 caregiver would spend 264 hours in only planning activities, which represent 33 working days not deliver care. If let's say hourly wages is 20 euros, it could cost the organization 1 million euros over 1 year. So we realize that the current planning system is not efficient. Time is very time-consuming, which can lead dissatisfaction of caregivers and the patient. We already validated the problem with the 5 organizations listed on this slide. In response to organization planning inefficiency, we propose a cloud-based solution that can help organizations better allocate human resources by matching 2 sides of the market, caregivers and the patient's needs. Our system can identify right matches for any patient's need in a split of second. So our target customer are home care organizations. In Holland, there's total addressable market is 3,854 care organizations. By the end of Q1 2021, we plan to find our first pilot project. By the end of Q3 2021, we aim to have 5 paying customers. In Q2 2022, we expect to gain 2% of total market share. So we have a strong female team with complementary skill sets. Asta and Mojda has a technical background, and they know each other for years, and they worked in an AI-related project in the past. Myself, I have an MBA degree and have worked as business development manager at international companies across Europe. We are here looking for care organizations willing to partner with Tactify, and we are seeking 200,000 euros for our products development. So with our solution, patients will get faster and better care. Caregivers will reduce the administration time, and care organizations will save money. If you are interested in our journey, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Next, please welcome our Spearman, Paralabs from Turkey.
Hi, I'm Burak Özgürsem, founder and the CEO of Paralabs. I did my PhD in sperm quality and aging at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. So our technology is actually the roots come from there. Let's talk about infertility today. Often we blame women for this, but men are the problem because today, men's sperm quality is 50% lower than their fathers. Male infertility is an alarming problem, and the sperm counts are decreasing with the environmental health risks and aging. And top of these, the current methods are inefficient to select the good sperm. Altogether, the fertility treatments fail 70% of the time because of this. This means infertile couple need to go through 5 times an IVF treatment, at least, to be able to have a child. There are technologies trying to select the sperm and analyze. However, they're expensive, time-consuming, and inefficient. And most importantly, they cannot assess the sperm DNA quality. Sperm with poor DNA quality is very important because it doubles the risk of miscarriage and reduces the live birth rates. For fertility treatments, we need a more affordable and better sperm selection technology. That's why we've developed Spearman, which is a fully automated sperm analyzer and a sorter device. It is world's first and the only device offering it not only detection but also separation of the good sperm. Our solution uses lab-on-a-chip and a deep learning algorithms to analyze and select the best sperm right on the chip. It separates the best quality sperm, so the likelihood of pregnancy will increase and live birth rates as well. It is fast, highly accurate, and fully automated. It's easy to use. You don't need a senior embryologist to do this job. And on top of that, we can assess the sperm DNA quality. A number of technologies out there doing the male fertility testing. Microptic and Mass Global are the major competitors. However, they only do analysis. They cannot do selection. We combine the analysis and the selection procedure. So we streamline the whole process in the clinic. It is more accurate and faster compared to the others. And we separate the best sperm cells in 60 minutes. Our customers are fertility clinics, hospitals, and sperm banks. At the moment, the global fertility market is around $7 billion, and we expect to contract over 300 clinics in 5 years. We also see a market opportunity in the animal IVF side, which doesn't require certifications and is a loose regulatory pathway that will allow us to do a sex selection of the sperm in farm animals. Our revenue model in human side is a business-to-business model. We have device sales, consumable sales, and reagent sales. On top of that, we also do an annual cloud subscription where they will receive the reporting. With fixed and recurring revenues, each clinic has a $160,000 value, potential revenue value per year. By 2025, we expect to reach $55 million in revenues from 300 clinics, starting from Europe in 2020, and then move to United States, and then China will be the third the step of the market entry. So far, we have LOIs from 4 major distributors in Europe. We have performed a small clinical study with a major fertility clinic in Istanbul, Turkey, and signed an NDA with Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I am Brock, I'm the founder and the CEO. We are a well-balanced team with a reproductive health, medical device sales, and a software and hardware development. Starting from Europe in 2020, we plan to have our the product pipeline, but at the moment, our flagship product, Spermin, will get into the market next year in Europe. In order to do that, we need to receive CE mark and FDA 510K clearance. We are currently fundraising $1 million to commercialize our product. If you're interested in investing in our company, please talk to us. Thank you.
Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome to RiboPro, the future drug development.
Four and a half billion years ago, our planet was an uninviting place, dominated by volcanoes and toxic air. From this chemical mayhem, however, the very first life sparked into existence in the form of self-replicating strands of ribonucleic acid, RNA for short. Through evolution, RNA became the software of life. For viruses, bacteria, plants, and even us humans. It is the basis of every heartbeat, every brainwave, every sensation, for the structure and functioning of our entire body. And now, we have the technology to harness the power of RNA to realize our dreams of better research, our dreams of safer medicines, and our dreams of faster vaccine development. Dream ahead, RiboPro. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sander van Asbeck, and together with my team, I'm on a mission to revolutionize research and medicine with RNA. And in this pitch, I would like to tell you a little bit more of how we are going to do that. At RiboPro, we specialize in a particular type, an important type of RNA, messenger RNA. Messenger RNA is the software of our body. By relaying the genetic information from the DNA to the cellular machinery that produces proteins. And it's those proteins that are being produced that fulfill and perform all bodily functions. When we make artificial messenger RNA and introduce that into a cell, we can change, strengthen, alter the function of that cell. And because we can encode any function into the messenger RNA, we can achieve any effect. This creates a wealth of possibilities. what we do is we use enzymatic processes to produce RNA molecules. And we sell those RNA molecules to researchers and clinicians who will use them as a research tool or as the ingredient for innovative medicines. The problem for these customers, the reason why they don't do it themselves, is because messenger RNA is a very complex molecule. It's difficult to design, it's difficult to produce in the right quantity with the right quality, and it's difficult to use properly because of its instability and delivery issues. And we have a solution for all of that. First, we have a patent-pending method that is able to design messenger RNA that has very high activity and at the same time very low toxicity. We produce then this designed RNA sequence with our in-house developed RNA enzyme systems. And then the purified product we combine with specially designed reagents. We give the customer protocols and access to our support staff to produce a total success guaranteeing solution. That's a bold claim. And we are sure of this claim because 100% of our dozen paying customers that we have served in our 2.5-year pilot has come back to order more. And several of them were so happy with us that they asked us to become partner or preferred supplier for their drug development programs in the fields of kidney disease, immuno-oncology, and bone regeneration. Sorry. I'm drawing a small blank here, sorry. Mark, can you help me a little bit? Wait. Yeah, so with this traction, I think this is a great starting point for a sales team to start scaling. And for that, we are currently asking for an investment of 500,000 euros. And why do we think that the moment is now to scale? Because we have a parallel to the computer world. In the early 1980s, computers were about to break through. And messenger RNA is at exactly that point. We have a few early players, and now the big audience, the big mass is ready to adopt it. And we need to be at the forefront of this movement. And the way we differentiate ourselves in this movement is through innovation. Innovation at every level possible. Because we want to be the Apple of the software of life. And we do that through innovation. We created a superior product that outcompetes any competitor messenger RNA in terms of activity and safety. We are the only messenger RNA supplier that actually owns the IP on the methods we use to improve the messenger RNA. So we allow our customers to develop the product further. We are the only messenger RNA supplier that not just sells messenger RNA, but also actually everything you need to use it properly. But technical superiority, that's not what the customer wants. Yes, he wants that, but it's not all they want. They also want a great user experience. And recently, we have focused on creating the absolute best user experience possible. And I'm very happy to tell you that we're very close to developing the messenger RNA equivalent of the computer mouse. And I think that combination is going to be the reason why customers will choose for us. So technical superiority and enhanced customer experience. Those would be the ingredients for premium pricing. But we chose to go a different way. And let me tell you why. To be honest with you, I personally do not own any Apple products. I've been talking about becoming the Apple of the software of life, and I don't own any Apple products. And the reason, therefore, is premium pricing. I cannot afford it. I don't want to afford it. So We talked to many of our customers, and they told us we would be willing to pay a lot down the line, but not in a very early stage when we are still experimental, when we're still experimenting. So we built our business model around this premise, around the premise that our customers need to be successful so that we can earn more down the line. So in the short term, we sell research-grade messenger RNA to researchers and clinicians, and we can make a good living out of that. But if our customers are successful in their research, they will create drug candidates, and those drug candidates will require, for the testing, clinical-grade messenger RNA, which we can sell much more profitably. And then when these medicines reach the market, we stand to make even more on royalties. So I think it's safe to say that exciting times are ahead. And I invite you to join us to dream ahead.